Good morning. My name is Tammy, and I would like to welcome you to my tiny little corner of Berwick, Maine. Greetings from Maine, everybody. And this is Tammy Stitches. This is FlossTube number 116, and today is November 14th, 2025. If you are new here, please like, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things. I really appreciate it. And if you are a regular that comes back week after week, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay. So, let's get started, shall we? I don't have any FFOs. I don't have any finishes. I just haven't gotten that far. I'm working on it, but we'll see. I think this year for finishes is going to be a bust, but we'll see. So let's get started. Okay, first off, I want to show you my Never Forget Bingo. This is how far I've gotten. And this is my calendar. And I've written down the amounts that I've done on my weekly focus. And I've also done the, the Never Forget Bingo on here. Plus, my sampler of the month. So there's that. Okay. First of all, we're gonna go with I get my pins screwed up because I have to have one for my phone and then have one for this silly thing, which I really didn't want, but you know. Alright. This is called Autumn. And you can't really see it, but it is like a bunch of boxes with an element in each box. And I started this one. This is from Neni Designs. N-E-N-I Designs. I started this on Veterans Day. November 11th. I am stitching it on a 20 count sand and I'm using the Kohl floss. My goal is 2,500. Okay. Now this has 5,596 and out of that I have completed 100, which puts me at 1.79%. And I've gotten part of the top and this side. And then you can't really see it, but there is 2 rows of that color there. So that was my start. One of my starts. Okay. I don't know why I didn't print out a picture of one of these, but I didn't. So, let's see. Here it is. This is the Autumn cake stand. There we go. This is by Stitching for Seasons on Etsy. So instead of F-O-R, it's the number 4. This is the Thanksgiving cake stand, which was part of my bingo. Oh, I did print out a picture. Yay! You'll be able to see this a lot better now. And here it is. As you can see, there's a turkey, there's pumpkin, scissors, pie, pilgrim hat, probably a pumpkin spice, coffee thing or tea, you know. And I started this on November 7th, which was Friday. And I'm stitching it on either a 16 or an 18 count, I'm not quite sure. Coffee, tea-dyed Ada. That is myself. And I'm using the Kohl floss. My goal is 2,663, which is how much it'll be to finish it. And I've gotten 203 stitches done so far. And I am at 7.62%. And that's what I've gotten done. And like I said, I am using the called for DMC. Okay. Okay, now I started this one because I knew it would be coming up. October. September. This is from Carriage House Samplings. It is our Cottage Garden Samplings. This is November's Chrysanthemum. And I started this on November 10th. And I'm stitching it on an 18 count jade. I'm using the Kohl floss except for the letters. And in those letters, I'm going to stitch the letters, I'm going to be using Celtic 4090, which is kind of a combination of the colors in the letters that are in there now. It's like browns and greens. And my goal is 2,500 stitches, and so far I've gotten 207. And that may not sound like a lot, but for this, as big as it is, which is not very big, it is a lot. There's my little turkey. He's not quite done yet. But there he is. Very cute. So this should come up on my bingo at some point, and when it does, I'll take it out and I'll work on it. Another 200 stitches. So my objective here is to get things started and work on them in the month that they're in, and then move on. So, try to get the goal completed if we can. So that's that one. Next one I worked on this one I'm looking for, probably not. Okay, well, it did come up, so okay. Next one is the Autumn Gnome. I don't have a picture of this one. This is from Box and Fox, and I'm stitching it on an 18 count Earthen Ada, and I'm using the Kohl DMC. My goal is 2,500 stitches. Okay, and I have completed 1022. I think that's right. Yes. And like I said, the hat's not the greatest, but it was easier to get 200 stitches by working on the hat. There it is. So, I'm trying to think about the color, the tannish color. I'm trying to think of something maybe a little bit darker to put there. We'll see. So for that one, for the autumn gnome, I got 200 stitches. And this was for my bingo. And then the Tinsel cross stitch pumpkin came up. This one I started on June 26th, 2023. I'm stitching on a 16 count white chocolate Ada. I'm using Classic Colorworks Lobster Claw and DMC 92. And my goal is 200, but I have definitely surpassed that goal. How much did I get on it? I got 200 stitches on here, which means I am up to 1,772. And there it is. And I've been working on the greenery. So I'm going to try to get some more of the greenery done next time I pull this out. And hopefully it's going to be soon, because this one is slated for finish and I'd really like to get it finished. Alright. And that was also for my bingo. Alright, now, as everybody knows, I had a craft fair on Saturday. I did okay. It was very busy. There were a lot of people. Lots of people. And not just people coming to look. There were a lot of vendors. There were, I mean, the whole school got taken over. So, I did not really work too much on things. When I got home, I was absolutely exhausted. I was worn out. I had gone and saw my daughter's play the night before, which she was amazing. So a lot of this stuff didn't get done until Sunday. So normally I work on, you know, I was supposed to work on my skull sampler on Saturday, but instead I worked on it on Sunday. And I got 3 things completed on Sunday. I got my skull sampler. I got whatever I was supposed to do on Saturday. Oh, yep. I got my Inside Autumn. And I got my bingo call for Sunday complete. And I'll go over those things in a few minutes. Okay, come on. Down this way. Maybe not. Nope. I took a few things off here, so things are not where I normally know they are. So it may take me a few minutes to find what I'm looking for. Ah, that one did not change. Okay. This is the skull sampler. And I'm hoping that the piece of fabric that I have is big enough. I really am. Okay. There's that. And I have this on a, this is from Kohl or Kohl, Lipe. I started this on November 1st because it was the first one. Oh, no, because this is what I picked for the month of November. I'm stitching this on an 18 count sterling. I'm using Blackout from Live and Die in LA. And my goal is 5,000. Out of 11,282 stitches, I have completed 445, and I am at 3.94%. And I finished the box. And now I'm working on the box on the inside. And if I get 2 boxes and it looks okay, I don't know if I'll put the 3rd box in if I don't have room. So I'm gonna stop trying to figure it out on my own and actually use that calculator, because it seems like it works a lot better. That's that. And I'll be working on this tomorrow. So. Alright. So that was the skull sampler. And like I said, where I didn't have time to do anything other than get to where I needed to go on Saturday, and I was there until 3 o'clock because we couldn't start cleaning up until 3 o'clock. I just, you know, I was so exhausted. Between going to see my daughter's play, which she was amazing, and then being up early to go to that. Okay. And I didn't take anything with me except a friend, so. Yes. Alright, the next thing I worked on, which was also called for, was the Autumn Quaker, and this is by Arana Weber, cross stitch verbena, and that's just part of it. So there's that, and I'm doing this on, started this on November 22nd, 2024, so it's almost a year old. I might work on it on the 22nd just to get some more done. I'm using an 18 count tea-dyed Ada that I dyed myself, and I'm using the called for DMC. Now my goal I've surpassed. I have definitely surpassed because it was 800, so I'm not, we're going to just put finish from now on. My goal is to finish it. Once I surpass the goal and get into like the thousands, if I don't have a thousands goal already, they're just going to be finishes. So out of 7,070 stitches, I have completed 2,820, and I am at 39.89%. And what did I work on, you ask? I did not work on the tree, but I did work on the flower here and started the motif here. There's one motif here, there's something underneath the flower, and then I will go back to the box and work my way over. I love this one. I love the colors. I love the motifs. For a while, I believe this was on my Motif Monday rotation. I don't know if I'm going to go back to the Motif Monday rotation, but I think I might like to. But between the bingo and the weekly focuses, I don't know. Unless I put one of these on for the weekly focus, which I just might do. They don't all have to be full coverage. I'm gonna keep this so I can work on it again. Maybe on the 22nd, and maybe I'll work on it on Thanksgiving. I don't know. Okay, where are you? Right there. So I got 200 stitches done on that one. So the next, one of the other things I worked on just because I wanted to, was the umbrella gnome. And I love this one, I really do. And I'm going to try to work on it more. Where are you? Where are you? Here is the umbrella gnome. And I started working on the umbrella. I finished up this little leaf stuck in his hat, but I started to work on the umbrella. And this is the umbrella gnome by Favorite Gnome on Etsy. I started this on November 2nd because I think this was the first thing that I've spun for in my bingo. I'm stitching it on an 18 count Hufflepuff, and I'm using the called for DMC, and my goal is 2,500. The total amount of stitches is 6,980, and I have completed 405, and I am at 5.80%. And here we are. Isn't that gorgeous? That blue, the blues in here are absolutely amazing. I don't want a shadow on it. There we go. And this, I need to order some more of this type of fabric. This is from To Die For Fabrics, I believe. And I love stitching on it. I absolutely love stitching on it. So I might have to get some more 18 count. They don't have 20 count, unfortunately, but you know what, that's okay. I'll go with the 18 count. My turkey gnome is in here too, so I'm going to keep this out. Okay. So there is that. And that was the best 200 stitches I did all week. It really was. Then I worked on Gaia. I don't remember, but the other day. And this is Gaia, the Earth Goddess by Quaternion Creations. I do not have a picture. I started this on March 31st, 2025. This is definitely a finish because I'm using an 18 count teal dye that I did myself, and I'm using Silky 4051. Now, my goal for this is 2,394, and that's how much it's going to take to finish it. And out of that 2,394, I've completed 1,610, and I only have 784 stitches left to go. And I did 200 stitches the other day. So here she is. I have to finish her dress. I finished this plant here. I got those little doodads in. And I just have to do the urn that her dress is in. I mean, that the plant is in, and then work on a dress, and there's a few little doodads on the other side. So, 784 stitches seems like a very reachable goal before the end of the year. So I'm going to keep this in my little bin here, because that is under gift stitching. I'm just going to start putting my things in alphabetical order for my end of year whip parade. That, and they're all going to have a category. So, what I want to finish, what I want for gifts, what I want, you know, so on and so forth. Okay, then yesterday I did dark 13 stitching. Because when I spun my wheel, 13 came up. What's on 13? Frank Smart Monster by the Art Revivalist. And this is charted by Stitchy So Beautiful. This is the small version. I'm only doing the small version, and I'm doing this on a 25 count 1/1. And I love Frank. I really do. It took me a little bit to get into, but once I did, it was amazing. Okay, this is Frank's Monster, and I started this on October 15th, 2025, and I'm stitching it on an 25 count easy guide 1/1, and I'm using the called for DMC. My goal is to complete 5,000 stitches. There are 62,500 stitches in this, and I have completed 1,240, and I am at 1.98%. So hopefully, because this is also on next month's bingo, December bingo, because I want to work on it. I'm putting it under number 13, so I can get some stuff done. And here's where I am. I am trying to fill in from here down. So I'm getting pretty close, and now you can see the different blues in it, and it just looks absolutely amazing. It really does. I love this one, and I'm not bored with it, so I'm hoping that I continue not to be bored with it, and then go from there. So that's that one. So I got 209 stitches on that because I wanted to even things off. I'm trying to get even numbers. Okay, now next. Where did that go? Did I not bring it in? Oh, there it is. I don't have a picture for this one, but this is Inside Autumn, and it was one of my bingo calls, and I'm going to take this and put it way back here. There it is. And I ran out of my other bag, so I'm using this one, but it works. This one is Inside Autumn by Maria Roboco, and I started this on April 11th, 2025. I'm using a 16 count eek from Pictures Plus. using the called for floss, and my goal is to finish it. And I have 318 stitches done. And just go this way. And here we are. This is just the outline, and then each block has some sort of autumn theme or autumn like motif or element, whatever you want to call them. So I have to finish up the rest of the boxes, and once I get the rest of the boxes in, I can go to town on filling. That is my goal on that one. I might have to order some more floss, so I'm just gonna do the filling, the outlining for now. And I got 200 stitches on that. And I'm gonna put this over here because I'm not gonna work on that one again for a while. Alright. And then last night, yesterday I finished my weekly focus 200 stitches, and I finished my bingo 200 stitches. And my bingo 200 stitches was frank. So when I got home from doing grocery shopping, I didn't have enough time to sit and stitch, but I did have enough time to get something ready. And then I had my counseling appointment, and then I did my thing. So this is what I did last night. And I am very happy with this one, and I am going to keep it out, and I'm going to keep it in my bin here. So when the mood takes me, I will have it, and I'll just keep working on it. I'm not quite done with one of the strips yet, but I'm working on it. Alright, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, right there. This is spooky season. And I'm working on this one here. I actually considered, and I'm still considering it, getting just one of the 6 points. Just one. Not getting all 6. Just the one I like the best, and I think the one I like the best is the one that Sisky's working on right now. I'm not sure, but this is Spooky Season, and it's by Lukovka on Etsy. I started this on October 9th, 2025. I'm using an 18 count Forbidden Fiber Company Fiber of the Month. I don't know the color. And I'm using the called for DMC. My goal is 5,000. This has 11,374 stitches. Out of that, I have completed 1,295. And I'm at 11.39%. So I completed 235 stitches last night while watching Breaking Bad. Trust me, I'm not thrilled with that show. But anyway, and this is how far I've gotten done. So, I got all of this done, and I get a little bit more to do, and that's when the pumpkin starts. So, once I get all of this color done here, I'm going to move over here and do the other couple colors that go down this way. And then I'll do the pumpkin. I'm going to finish up each section before I actually move on to the next one. So, and I ended up buying a leshy one that only has 3 sections. I don't know why I'm so impressed with these things, but I am. Alright. So that, I got 235 stitches on that. Now, Oh. That's not what I'm looking for, is it? Okay. Now, on Sunday, I spun for my bingo. What did I get? Fox in the Forest. This was also my weekly focus for this week. 200 stitches Monday to Friday. I finished my 200 stitches this morning. I've been up since 3:30. I got my 200 stitches done. So, here it is. So, this is a Fox in the Forest from Celtic Rose Cottage on Etsy. I started this on July 30th, 2025. I'm stitching it on a 20 count easy guide, and my goal is 5,000. Now this has 50,176 stitches. Out of that, I have completed 1,710 stitches. And I am at 3.41%. So I'm going to try to get 5% before the end of the year. I'm going to attempt to do that. So, how many did I get for 6 days? I got 1,230 stitches. And I'm not ironing these anymore because I found out if you iron them, that sets in the grid and then it doesn't work well. So this is how far I jumped around quite a bit. I was trying to get block stitching, which there isn't much. But I'm hoping that this white right here, or this color here, is either part of the head or part of one of the ears. So if I can get one of the ears in, I'm doing really well. So, and I may have goofed on one color, but you know what, that's alright. I'm not going to worry about it. So, here it is. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across and 5 down. There's a lot of confetti in this. That's why I haven't done this section here, because it's all confetti. So, here it is. So, yep, I worked on that 6 days this time because it got called. And I'll tell you, by today I was ready to be done. I had all I could handle of this particular one. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not normally a monogamous stitcher. I only do 200 stitches a day. And I get, if I can get 1,000 in a week, then I get 1,000 in a week, and I'm happy with that. So, I worked on 13 different projects this week. So, this one I'm going to put away for a little bit. Alright, so that is that. So, I did want to show you something I meant to show you last week, but I left it somewhere that was not easy to get to at this point. But I went to Otter Creek Floss. This is on Etsy. And I ordered these 4 colors. This is turquoise color. We have pumpkin spice. We have evergreen forest. And we have riddle me this. And that's, everybody knows the Joker. No, the Riddler from Batman. And then she sent me a couple freebies, which she did the first time I ordered anything. This is called Fallen Leaves. And then we have the Peach-Faced Lovebird. And these I ordered so when I get to some of my other flowers from Cottage Garden Samplings, I'll be able to pick something that can go with the letters. I am going to do the two-tone letters. I did them for September. So that takes care of the end of summer, beginning of fall. October, November, and December. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that, but I got to make sure that at least 4 of them have the two-tone. So, then we got January, February, March. So I think December is going to have the two-tone. And I might change up something else. I don't know. Let's see. And then, or use one of those for, you know, the holly leaves. Whatever. And then, the, January, February, March, one of those will get changed. April, May, June. Oh, excuse me. One of those will get changed. July, August, September. We're good. Because September has the two-tone. And then, I'm thinking of my plans for 2026. The only yearly plan I have is my Gnome Go. And I think my friend Lucy is going to join me, which makes me very happy. And I don't know if my friend Sally is going to, but I can hope. Not everybody likes gnomes. I get that. So, but, that's going to be how that works. Now, everybody knows that there's a lot of people doing the FlossTube frenzy thing where you pick so many FlossTubers and you know, when they put on a update, they have so many stitches. When they put on a when they do, you know, like a Stitch with Me or a live or pre-recorded or whatever, an extra, so to speak, then they do so many stitches. I didn't like that idea because it's like there's plenty of people to watch. I get that. And if you are watching somebody, you know, it doesn't have very many subscribers, like myself, and I feel, and this is just my own personal feeling, anybody can do whatever they want, I do not care. I feel like that I'm just pushed, you know, to the wayside because I don't have thousands and thousands of subscribers like a lot of other people do. I'm not a Pam and Steph. You know, and I mean, I've watched Pam and Steph. I love them. They're great. I've watched Michelle Bindi. I've watched, you know, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. You know, I like watching like Nadia, and she's Dark Stitches on FlossTube, and she only does monthly. You know, she used to do weekly, and basically it's very rare that you see her do something small. she is definitely a full coverage. And right now, for the past few months, she has been monogamously working on the Lord of the Rings that she has, and it is amazing. Literally amazing. I don't have any bad thing to say about anybody. Because I just, I don't think that's appropriate to bully somebody or to say bad things about them. I really don't. Unless they've done something to you or said something about you, then I can understand that. But this whole, for me, it feels like a game of favoritism. Now, I know they can pick whoever they want, and I don't care. But I just don't like that. I feel, maybe I just feel left out. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. But, I do have a couple FlossTube friends that, when they, film, starting at the beginning of the year, I am going to work on a specific whip, because it's something that they really, really like. Like, for example, my friend Lucy, she loves gnomes, and she loves coffee, but she just doesn't have a floss tube, which is fine. She doesn't have to have one. But, one of the gnomes that I may do for the year of 2026 could be a coffee gnome in honor of Lucy. Now, Sally, she wants to do the Soda Stitch wizards. And there are 3 wizards, and they are Harry Potter-esque, with the scarves and the wands and the hats and the whole bit, 9 3/4, everything. And she wants to start that with me, and I haven't, and I want to start it with her, so that might be, a new year, new start. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to have to talk to her. My friend Claudia, she likes the fancy ladies, and she likes the, magical and vintage Halloween and all that kind of stuff, and that's wonderful. I don't necessarily do that, but I do know that she and I get along so well is because we do a lot of Halloween. Her more vintagey than mine, like Witchy Stitcher, some of those cooler designs, Stony Creek, that kind of thing. And I love that about her. I mean, she's made me 2 different cupcakes for my birthday. She made me an Alice in Wonderland one, which was absolutely gorgeous, and she made me a Nightmare Before Christmas one. And the day that I got the Nightmare Before Christmas one was the last time I saw my dad alive. I got it that day. And she literally made my whole day with that, because he ended up dying early that morning. Went down and saw him on a Friday. He died very early Saturday morning. And I knew something was up because I was up at like 2. So, yeah. So what I was thinking about doing at the beginning of the year was, there were 4 people that I consistently watch. One of them is Siski. One of them is Laura, Stitching by the Shore. The other one is Kay, the Stitchy Pfeiffer. And then Lisa, the Horror Stitcher. And watching Lisa is amazing. She she only does it like on a monthly basis, but that's okay. That's okay. But here's the thing. When I watch Lisa, it doesn't matter how many stitches I get. I'm not just however as soon as from the beginning of the floss tube until the end. However many stitches I get for that, cool. If I only get 100, that's it. If I get 200 or 300, awesome. That's what I'm doing. And it's only, you know, when I notice that they've when I've noticed that they've, you know, downloaded, uploaded, put a floss tube on. So Lisa the Horror Stitcher, her favorite is Pennywise from It. Stephen King's It. I saw this and I was like, okay. Now, I don't watch horror movies, don't get me wrong. But doing this, I can do this. I can stitch it. It's not going to bother me. It's watching, you know, that thing. That bothers me. So, this is not going to get started until January. And it's only going to come out when Lisa does an update. And if she doesn't do an update, then I can find somebody else that I can, you know, use it on. Now, the other thing that I got Now, Laura Stitching by the Shore. She likes dragons because she read the books Iron Flame and the other one. There's only 2 out that I know of. But it's about riders at a dragon academy. And since she likes dragons, I thought doing this one would be kind of cool. But on the flip side, she also likes, you know, summer and the beach and all that good stuff. So, what is it? It's spring. Somewhere back here somewhere. I have to find it. Okay, where are you? Autumn. Must be up here. Ah, there it is. And this is also from Neni Designs. And it's summer. And it's the same idea of the autumn one. But it's got things that, you know, like hot sun, the beach, fish, boats, a whole bit. So I thought about doing that one. I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to pick, but I've got until January to do that. And then the other one was Siski. Now, Siski, she is a hardcore animal lover. And she does basically full coverage. So, I thought this is a fox with a pink background. And it's got flowers and all that. And that whole vibe is Siski. You know, cutesy little animals with the flowers and, you know, the whole bit. The whole vibe is Sisky. So that one would probably be Sisky. So she usually does an update every Friday, so I would work on this once a week. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do this or not. It's just things that I'm throwing around in my head. And then the last but not least is Kay. Now, Kay has got to be one of the sweetest women I've ever met in my life, or ever seen on FlossTube in my life. She's got these, I mean, she has her cats. I don't know if the lady's married. I don't know if she has children. She's never said. And if she doesn't and isn't, that's fine. It's not going to change my opinion about her. But she is one of the sweetest people I have ever met. And I really, when I found out that in her last episode that somebody was actually picking on her, I was annoyed. I was so very, very annoyed. They were bullying her, and I don't like that. We, as FlossTubers, we are inviting you into our home. Or we are putting ourselves out there. And if you can do better than we can, please start your own FlossTube. But don't bully somebody who's stepping out of their comfort zone to do this. Because it's not okay. Now, the thing I like about Kay is she's very sweet and she likes to do full coverage. And I'm not sure if I found something for her yet, but she lives in Scotland, and she's a very sweet lady. So I thought that I would do these cute little Highland cows, because she is from Scotland, and that's where Highland cows come from. And I just thought it was very her. Now, I could be wrong with all of this. And if I am, I hope the four ladies, you know, they get in touch with me and they say yes or no. Now, I've been watching Laura long enough to know that she likes Quakers. And she's got these huge Lipe Studio summer and spring and summer Quakers that she's doing. I mean, these things are, even on 18 count, they're huge. They're huge. And they're very pretty. They're extremely pretty. And I know she's done one of the quirky Quakers. She did a bee. And she does a bee every February. And she, you know, she likes her pumpkin birthdays. So I have a pumpkin that I could do for Laura. Or finish up one of the pumpkin ones that I've started. It doesn't really matter. But these are just a couple of friends, what I consider to be friends, anyway, that, you know, I could do. Now, some of the other people, like Jeremiah's mom, Katie, Jeremiah's mom, her favorite thing is Halloween, you know, and if I wanted to do something for her, it would be a Halloween. And she loves challenges and things of that nature. I listen. I learn a lot from people who put on these things. Crow Stitcher. If I was going to do anything for her, it would be either Eloise and the Shadowbird or Thyla and the Shadowbird, because Crow Stitcher. Or I have some crow stuff that I could do and only work on when she's doing an update or doing a live or doing one of her Stitch With Me's. I worked on something while I was watching one of her Stitch With Me's the other day. You know? Crow is very, she likes very dark imagery, which is perfectly fine. I have absolutely no problem with that because I myself like some dark imagery. Not a lot, but enough. I'm more of, I want to find a small, not a huge, that's going to take me until I'm 150. If I even make it that far. I want to find a small jungle for coverage. Hopefully it does not have snakes, because I don't live. I can't. I will do frogs, I will do spiders, I will do, lizards. I don't, as long as they have feet, I'm good. It's the things that don't have feet that bother me. I know that sounds silly, but that's how I feel. It's the things that, as long as they have feet, I'm okay. I mean, I could face down a crocodile and slowly back up and walk away more than I could. Garter snake, I have to run. Literally. I mean, took my dog for a walk one day. Perfect example. Took my dog for a walk. Okay? Left the house. Went and did our walk. There was nothing in the driveway. I come back from walking the dog, and there's a dead snake in my driveway. I froze. It was dead, but I froze. I literally froze. And I was praying to God that Patches didn't see it, because snakes she doesn't like if they're alive. I don't know how she feels about them when they're dead. And to her, that's food. That's roadkill. So I think she survived on roadkill for a long time. And I feel so bad. I really do, because that stuff's nasty. But yeah, so you understand why I don't want to deal with snakes. So that's that. But my plans and goals for this weekend are to work on all 4 of the Wrestling Roundup whips I have left. So it'll be Red Fox, Eloise, Gothic Light, and 3 Cheers. Also, next week, and today, I will be working on Four Seasons Autumn. Today this will get 200 stitches, and then starting Monday, it'll get 200 stitches every day for 5 days. So, that's that. And whatever gets spun, whatever numbers get spun for my bingo. So, that's going to be my plans and goals. I'm hoping to work on Gothic authors. I haven't worked on that one in a while. And I really need to get Poe and the bottom done. And this is my Gothic authors. I finished Radcliffe, and I'm working on Poe. Now, I told you I had some information about Anne Radcliffe. She was born in 1764 and she died in 1823. She was only 58, I believe. She was a Gothic novelist, and her first novel was the most popular, The Mysteries of Adulfo. And that was published in 1794. In 1791, her third, The Romance of the Forest, and her fifth, The Italian, was 1797. So I think she had to do them anonymously, and I think this one right here is the one that was her most popular. And it's spelled The Mysteries of Udolpho. So, but yeah, I want to work on this one. Maybe I'll try to get some of it done this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. I only need 300 stitches on Gothic Light. I only need 400 stitches on Eloise, 400 stitches on Red Fox, and 500 on Three Cheers. Because that's how that works. And then for the rest of the month, I'll spin for a couple more, maybe 2 or 3, and you know, we'll get done what we can get done. As long as I get those core 6 done, I'm good with that. And then we'll spin 4 new ones for December. So, other than that, that is all I have. So, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and has a great Stitchy week. And I will see you next Friday. So, keep on stitching on, y'all.